Hello. Hello. Y'all gonna have to excuse me. I gotta get myself together. It's been a busy morning. The hubs and I had a funeral to attend, unfortunately, this morning. But on our way home, we got to see a tornado live and in person. And so that was fun. We got to, well, it wasn't fun. It was a little scary seeing the tornado. But luckily it was coming through. It was in front of us and it was going sideways, so we weren't really caught up in it, so that's good. But welcome to another Wisdom Wednesday. Today I really wanted to talk about entrepreneurial self-care and why it's important as an entrepreneur to practice good self-care. And I'm not talking about self-care in the traditional, like, have a glass of wine, take a bubble bath type thing, even though all of that is important. But I'm talking about self-care in a way that is kind of similar to what I talked about a couple weeks ago on Wisdom Wednesdays when I talked about setting boundaries, right? So as an entrepreneur, it's really almost ingrained in society that you have to be hustling all the time. You have to go. I am personally not a fan of hustle culture because it doesn't reward those who take a break, right? It rewards those who keep going, who push past their limits. And honestly, that's not healthy. That's not a good habit to have. And so doing things that I mentioned, like in the reel that I posted yesterday, like making sure that you're eating, that you're taking breaks throughout the day, that you are not trying to fill up your calendar. Sometimes in the effort to feel like we have to keep making money or we have to keep doing things, we are always trying to fill up our calendar and we're not giving ourselves a break. And we talked about this when I was talking about burnout. That's what it leads to. And so we have to do things like closing the computer at night, saying no to clients, taking breaks every once in a while. And the reason why we want to do those things as entrepreneurs, outside of it's just better, healthy for our lives, it's because it actually helps us be more productive. It helps us gain clarity in our heads. It helps us see things differently. And so I just wanted to kind of jump on and give you a couple of reasons why good self-care as an entrepreneur, especially as an entrepreneur, is important. Number one, it's going to reduce your stress levels. I don't deal with stress. I don't like stress. I try to eliminate as much as I can from it. I'm not about stress. And so when you practice self-care, when you sit down and take a break from your work, when you close the computer every night, when you have things like a morning routine, like what I posted about today, where you're, calming and centering your mind, where you're doing things like meditating, where you're doing things like reading books that you enjoy or spending time with family and friends, all of that is going to help you reduce your stress levels. Because let's be honest, we all know that running a business is hard and not a lot of people understand all of the work that goes into running a business. And so taking a step back, focusing on yourself, giving yourself time to breathe is going to naturally reduce your stress levels. And not only is that just like important in general, but health wise, it also helps you. Stress is linked to things like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, things like that. And all of that for us people of color, or people of the global majority, as I like to call it now, we're naturally predisposed to those types of conditions because we actually have naturally elevated levels of the stress hormone just from being a person of color. And so you want to practice that self-care to bring those stress levels down. Another thing that self-care as an entrepreneur is going to help you do, it's like I mentioned, it's going to help clear your mind. It's going to help you be more creative. So speaking specifically to creative entrepreneurs, I'm sure you have been in a position where you are working on a project, or like if you're a designer, you have a design that you need to get done for a client and you're just stuck. Your head is not letting you like come up with new ideas. You hate everything that's coming out and you just really can't move forward. Part of that is because you're probably a little bit stressed about it. And so when you take that time to take a step back, when you close the computers, again, I'm going to keep saying the same things. When you close the computers, when you go have a break for lunch, that's a big one too, for real. We can set our own schedules a lot, and a lot of us are working from home in general. So we tend to sit wherever we are all day and we don't get up. We're not moving our bodies. We're not taking a break to eat. We're just snacking all day. take time to actually go have a meal. Like, go away from what your office is, go away from wherever you're working, and go actually eat. When you take time to do those things, what happens is you're allowing your mind to have a break. And that over time will allow you to kind of remove those roadblocks that you might be feeling creatively. It'll help you stop feeling stuck. It won't allow you to keep feeling overwhelmed. And so just by taking those breaks in your work, just by taking a step back and by practicing good self-care as an entrepreneur, you're going to be able to improve your clarity, and you're going to be able to improve your creativity. What it also will do is boost productivity. Sometimes that can sound a little counterintuitive because you're like, no, if I stop working, how am I going to be more productive? But what happens is when we go, I personally don't think that our minds are set up in a way to, and I'm almost positive studies have shown this, we can actually only focus on a specific task for so long. Like, mentally, we might still think that we're trying to focus on it, but our brain is now elsewhere. Like, we are not able to focus on tasks for an extended amount of time. So it can help boost productivity when you do things like take a break, or you get up and stretch, or you go for a walk, or you meditate. Because what happens is, because you're allowing your brain to take a break, when you come back to that work, you're actually going to be able to see yourself finishing projects a little bit faster. You'll feel renewed energy. You'll be like, oh, I didn't think that I could do it this way, but this makes more sense to do it this way. And so it'll actually boost your productivity when you're taking care of yourself and taking breaks throughout the day, and when you're feeding yourself, and when you're moving, and when you're drinking water, and all of that stuff. So that's, like, it seems a little counterintuitive, but it actually makes sense that if you want to be more productive in your day, you have to take care of yourself, because you're going to be on the path to burnout if you're not taking care of yourself. And I did a whole Wisdom Wednesday about that, so go check it out if you want to talk about burnout. Another thing that it's going to do, of course, and y'all know I'm a big advocate of this, is improve your mental health. I talked about this in general. We, as people of the global minority or majority, already have higher levels of cortisol, stress levels, and things like that. So we have to do everything that we can to protect our mental health. And sometimes that means putting breaks in what we're doing. It specifically, when I say not saying yes to every client just because it's money, right? Like, being able to be okay with our calendar not being all the way booked up. It also means things like having a limit to the number of clients that you're going to take, because mentally you know that you're just going to be burnt out if you take on too many clients at a specific time. And so it means putting certain routines in place that are going to help you protect your mental space, because it's really important. As creative people, as women, as business owners, we have to protect our mental health. A lot of times, I've seen it in so many of my business friends and my clients, where clients try to take advantage of them, or they treat them in such a way that they would never treat businesses, big brand name businesses, or businesses that are run by white men, right? So, excuse me, my cat's trying to eat my food. But we see, like, clients who try to, like, test our mental health, right? Like, they test our patience, they stress us out. And it's okay to take a step back and say, you know what, for mental health today, I'm not going to answer emails. Like, I'm going to get to y'all tomorrow. Doing things like that, putting the boundaries in place. And we talked about boundaries in another Wisdom Wednesday, but putting those things in place will help you clear up your head. It's going to help you work better. It's going to help you sometimes decide whether or not you want to continue with certain activities in your business. Maybe it doesn't make sense for you mentally to do that. And that's self-care. Like, it doesn't seem like it's self-care, but doing things in your business that are no longer fulfilling for you, like getting rid of those, is a form of self-care, because you're allowing yourself to not be mentally stressed out about the type of things that you don't like doing anymore. I'm going to do a whole Wisdom Wednesday on outsourcing. And part of that is because if we don't like to do it, let somebody else do it, because that's going to protect our mental space. It's going to protect our energy. It's going to make us more creative. That's a form of self-care. Another thing that you want to do, set aside me time, right? So that goes into the more traditional self-care, but it isn't just as important Y'all know I talk about my planner. It's right over here on this side of me. I put everything in my planner, and y'all know, like, I will literally schedule in my workouts. I will put down when we're having a game night or when I'm having wine night with my girls. Schedule time for yourself, whatever that means. Like, that could even mean something as simple as like scrolling through your phone on TikTok because it's a release from your head and it lets you just mentally escape. Put time aside for yourself. My husband and I binge watch Manifest right now, but like sometimes when I'm home by myself in the evenings and I don't feel like watching TV, for me it's more relaxing to literally, and this is gonna sound horrible, but I will literally scroll through TikTok because TikTok actually has a lot of good people who can teach you things, and that's like, I don't watch a lot of funny videos, but a lot of the more educational ones, because that, to me, I love to learn. So I like being able to just like, oh, that's an interesting fact. That's an interesting fact. Learn how to bake. Make sure that you have a hobby outside of just your business. For a lot of us, our business is our hobby, but you need to have something else. You need to have something else that's not about making money, something that fulfills you in a way that renews your spirit, that refreshes you, that takes care of you. So you want to make sure that you're setting aside and scheduling time for yourself. Learn to say no. Boundaries are a thing. We talked about them. No is a complete sentence. Learn to say no. No can be hard at first to do, but it's very important that you learn how to set those boundaries in your business. Saying no is a form of self-care, and the more that you say it, the easier that it will be to say. You want to get rid of things in your life and in your business that no longer serve you, that aren't bringing you money, aren't a passion, and aren't serving your bigger purpose. And so that means sometimes saying no to clients. That means sometimes saying, I don't need to work with this person, or I can fire this client because mentally, for my self-care, I don't need to be with this person. They don't need to work with me anymore. That's a type of self-care. So you need to be able to learn how to say no. And it's okay. You don't have to be rude about it. Like, you don't have to be like, no, like, F you or something like that. You can just be like, you know what, right now, this is not for me. I don't think I'm the right service provider for you. I don't think that I'm the right business for you. Here are a list of options that you can take. You can also do my calendar's booked up and sorry, I just can't take it. You also don't owe reasons for anybody, right? Like, you can say, I have other plans, or I'm not available. I'm not available is also a way to just say no. Like, and you don't need to explain your reasoning to everybody, but setting those boundaries, being able to say no, is a way to practice good self-care as an entrepreneur. We don't need to take on every client, and every dollar is not worth the same. Some dollars you're going to work way harder for it, and it might not be worth it. So learn how to say no. You also want to, and this is, again, I touched on this a little bit, we want to feed ourselves, right? We want to nourish our bodies. I struggle with healthy eating. I struggle to not snack during the day. I'm an inherently lazy person when it comes to cooking and cleaning my house. And so I don't like to get up and cook dinner. I don't like to cook lunch. I don't really like to make breakfast all the time. So for me, I have to focus more on the things that I'm eating, making sure I'm taking a break and actually eating lunch and eating dinner and not just snacking through the day, because I will snack all day long. So you want to make sure that we're eating better as much as we can. I say everything in moderation. We're not going to give up the foods we love here, but just try to feed your body better, because it actually not only will improve you health wise, it's going to give you more energy, it's going to boost your mood, and it's going to overall, again, help you be more productive. So you want to make sure that you're feeding yourself, you're drinking enough water, you're not letting that fall by the wayside just because, I gotta work. No, it's okay. Take a break. I promise you, everybody else is going to lunch. You can go to lunch too. And then lastly, the big thing too is be in the moment, right? And that, to me, what that means is, I read an article a long time ago that said that my generation, millennials, I'm an older millennial, but millennials and those younger than me, we experience things through our phone, and that you can picture yourself pre-COVID times going to a concert, and what's everybody doing? We're all recording it through our phones. We're all watching the concert through the phone. And what happens is you're experiencing something that's happening in real life through your phone versus experiencing it in the moment, putting the phone away and actually experiencing it. And so what that means with being in the moment is, if you take the time to actually sit back from things and experience what's going on around you, like putting the phone away, being in the moment from whatever you're doing. It'll actually make you more aware of the things that you're experiencing, and you're more likely to find gratitude in the things that you're experiencing, to be thankful for the events taking place in your life. And that's going to boost your mood. It's going to boost your productivity. It'll help you form connections with other people, because nobody wants to have conversations with people who are just looking at their phone. We feel ignored. And so when you put those phones away, when you're in the moment with whoever you might be with at the moment, you're going to form connections. You're going to feel like that person matters more. You're going to take an interest in the things that they're saying, and vice versa. And being connected with people is a way to fill our cup up. It's a way to feel like we're all in this together. And so try to take time to just be in the moment at least once or twice throughout the day. Just take a check. That can even mean just physically sitting down, closing your eyes, and say, what am I feeling right now? What does my body feel like? What does my mind feel like? Am I tired? Do I need to drink something? Do I need to eat? Does my back hurt because I've been sitting too long? Okay, let me go up and take a walk. Like, it really means just settling into ourselves, figuring out where we are in the present moment. And that's going to allow us to refresh our heads, refresh our bodies, and just be able to come back to work more refreshed. I know that it's challenging as an entrepreneur to take care of ourselves, especially for those of you who are running your business as your sole means of income. I get it. I have a 9 to 5. I have a job that I'm blessed enough that pays my salary, and I can do my business with every other hour that I have. But that doesn't, I know that when it's your only source of income, you might always feel like you have to go. But it's so important to take breaks and to take care of yourself, because especially if you're the main breadwinner, if you're the only one who's running your business, if your income runs on you, if you're always going, and you don't take a break, if you don't take a step back, you're going to get burnt out, and your body will tell you, nah, I'm done. We need to stop now. And then you've been doing all of this work for nothing, because now your body is going to force you to take a break. Whereas if you're more strategic in your planning of making sure you're scheduling time for yourself, making sure that you're feeding by, making sure that you're moving, making sure that you're taking time for you. If you're doing all of those things in your self-interest to take care of yourself, what happens is things might take a little longer. They might go a little slower, but you're taking better care of you, which will ultimately lead to better clients, more higher paying clients, and jobs that you actually like to do, work that you actually like to do. So I would like to hear in the comments how you take care of yourselves. I want to make sure that you're taking care of yourselves. Let me know if you struggle with it. Make sure that you sign up to the email list this week, because I got some tips going out to you. Make sure that you sign up, because there's a blog post about all of this coming out next week. But I want to hear how you're taking care of yourselves. Make sure that you're taking care of yourselves. And until next Wednesday, I will see you again for another Wisdom Wednesday.